Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Vostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. But we don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. And still to come tonight on That Kevin Show, she's a 4-star civilian, KT McFarland. She's simply known as Comic Kim. Kim Curley with a special Mother's Day presentation. And back in the spotlight, it's Ed Sheeran. And now, from Times Square, where subway conductors often receive free piping hot cups of coffee, just minus the cup and all over them, here's That Kevin. No, it's true. Announcer Dave sometimes makes stuff up, but that's actually a true story. This last week, and imagine, you get up, you trudge through your existence, you get to your station, you fire up your train, you're ready to get people to work on time, and a disgruntled subway passenger just decides to unload an entire cup of hot coffee all over. It's our welcome mat, friends. It's how we make people feel at home here in the New York City. Anyway, welcome in. Glad to have you. Hour number 2. True story. And to be honest, it wasn't even a flavored coffee. It was just plain. So it made it even worse. Anyway, I tell you what, we've got a lot to get to coming up yet this segment. We're going to introduce Times Square Trippin'. We're going back to Times Square tonight with the talents of Justin Awad. If you don't follow him on Instagram or TikTok, you should. He's really, really funny. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, Assignment Desk Weekend. All right. President Biden, pictured here, so pleased with himself that he could remember that it was Friday. Is giggling to himself as the press were being escorted from his joint appearance with the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. And why was he giggling? Why did he think it was hilarious? Well, the gaggle were all expelled the moment that the commander-in-chief asked if anyone knew if this here Gardner had brought any breakfast tacos with him. From the Math is So Hard file, California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom, seen here covertly swallowing Prime Minister Pedro's last breakfast taco, has announced that California's budget deficit is billions of dollars overcommitted and that estimates show it will bankrupt the Golden State. This announcement came on the heels of the state announcing that it would soon be making slave reparation payments to descendants of slavery that never occurred in their state. The governor was also sad to learn that, unlike in the game of Monopoly, there is no $200 payout for merely passing go. The New York Knicks were booted from the NBA playoffs last night after a crushing 96-92 defeat in the city of Miami. In their previous win against that same team, Julius Randle had immediately sought out his wife to give her a celebratory kiss. Randall's also regularly seen allowing his son to travel with him as they go different places with the team. And both of these incidents seem to have irritated former NBA player Kenyon Martin, who leveled criticism at Randall for doing so, especially the kiss part. Because if there's one thing we definitely want in today's NBA, it's fewer men loving their wives and children. President Biden, pictured here, trying to remember his own name, has declared war on a vicious set of enemies, household appliances. Sure, they may not be as deadly as Russian tanks or Ukrainian surface-to-air missile systems, But it is an election cycle. His approval rating is the worst in history, and he must have his mid-afternoon mint chocolate chip. And finally, comedian and talk show host Whoopi Goldberg, seen here actually hissing at babies, has announced plans to release a new comic book. Interesting. Rumors have surfaced that this comic book will feature a very unique type of hero. Someone going through menopause, a menopausal superhero. Let that kind of wash over you for a second. Anyway, rumors have surfaced reporting that the character will be named Hot Flash and be loosely, entirely based on the coming of old age story simply known as Joy Behar. All right, it's time to head to Times Square Trippin' here on That Kevin Show.
You know what year the War of 1812 was?
What year the War of 1812 was? I did it in school. I'm trying to remember. I forgot. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yes, like when do you think it was? Was it a while ago or recently?
A while ago.
Guess a year.
1980, possibly.
Yes, it was around there. Do you know what state Utah is in? Utah? Nebraska? Yes. Do you know how many states make up the USA?
Uh-huh.
How many? No, you know this. Around
40.
how many?
40.
40 what?
40.
You know this. 40 what?
41?
Yes. Do you know who the current vice president of the United States is?
Yeah. Biden?
Yes. What continent are we on right now?
What continent? I think like North Africa.
What's 3 times 3 times 3?
18.
Yes. What country the Panama Canal is in?
No.
If you had to guess, like what do you think it sounds like it's in? Guess a country.
Europe.
Yes. Do you know what we call a shape that has 5 sides?
Diamond?
Yes. Can you tell me what time this is?
Yeah, that's 250. 250, right?
Yes. How many minutes make up a quarter of an hour?
25.
Yes. Do you know what country Hawaii is in?
Hawaii is a country, right? Yeah.
Yes. No, like, do you know what country it's in?
Hawaii is a town? Like, I thought the whole state of Hawaii was... Wait, what the fuck? Is Hawaii a state or a country? Hawaii...
It's a state. It's a state.
Hawaii's a state?
Yeah, so what country is it in?
What? Hawaii's a country? Are y'all playing with me right now? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. Sir.
Do you know who the current vice president is? No. Do you know what we call a shape that has 5 sides?
A hexagon? No.
Yes.
All right, that's Times Square Trippin'. Kevin McCullough in for That Kevin Show, and I hope you'll join us each week. That wraps up this edition of Assignment Desk Weekend. And one last special note as we close out this segment here on That Kevin Show. Tomorrow is obviously a very special day for mothers everywhere. We celebrate moms at That Kevin Show. I celebrate my bride, the mother of my 3 biological children. I celebrate the fact that there was a mother who brought my adopted son into this world, and celebrate her life, even though she is with us no more. And I also want to especially dedicate this episode, this Mother's Day episode, to the memory of Sharon Shetter McCullough and also Celeste Carpenter Harrell for their lives in the women that they were in the lives of myself and my bride and our family. And we miss you, moms. This this Mother's Day. We miss you incredibly. But we celebrate those of you that are moms, that are out there every single day, loving on your kids and doing all you can to make their lives better. And in all the ways that you aren't said thank you to for all the things that you deserve thanks for. This is our small way of trying to do that tonight. And coming up a little bit later, we've got a special Mother's Day comedian segment. Kim Curley talks about the mother's curse. If you can imagine that. Anyway, it's coming up later this hour. And back in the spotlight, someone who loves all the moms in his life, Ed Sheeran.
Ready or not, he'll be right back. That Kevin.